Welcome to the former state of the church, now known as the state of ministry. And so I'm just going to talk with our school side of things before we get started. I just came from Options from Women for their special lunch, and then they have a dinner as well where they do some fundraising. And just hearing those stories of decisions to keep a child. I think this last year the number was 378 decisions to keep a child instead of aborting that baby. That's something to be celebrated. But that also ties into what we're going to be talking about, because that's the next generation of kids coming up that are going to hopefully know who Jesus is and have maybe the opportunity to come here to school, or they're going to go to school somewhere. And so where are we at with the kids that God has blessed us with now in our community here at St. Paul? What's kind of happening? I know we got about 500-ish, 10 roughly, somewhere in that area for total numbers. But, Kelly, you do the ECEC, early childhood. What do your numbers look like out of that, and what do you have to celebrate?
So we have currently about 146 students on our rosters, and that is 2 classrooms of 15-month-olds, 2 classroom of 2-year-olds, 2 classroom of 3-year-olds, and 2 classroom of 4-year-olds. We are completely full in that area and have a pretty extensive weight pool, is what we're calling it now.
Okay.
So God has blessed us with wonderful students and families to serve. We have some amazing teachers and staff, and I think that's what we're able to celebrate. I mean, we're celebrating the fact that we are here on campus with full classrooms, excited families who are showing up, ready to learn and grow every day. So. Yeah,
and that has not always been the case, being full.
No, especially not at this time of year. Typically, we start our year and we're full in most of our areas, but we typically don't open that second 15-month room until maybe October at the earliest, typically January. But we started our year in that area full.
Wow, so people were seeking us out.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's great news.
Yes,
that's really good.
It is.
So where are we at on the rest of the school?
Yeah, so 370 some from kindergarten through 8th grade. 8th grade being our smallest class with only 28 students, but every other class has mid-40s, which is basically full. So 2 classrooms, kindergarten through 8th grade, and not much room. Maybe in 3rd grade, a couple of spaces. We're taking a couple new students because we have some leaving, but as soon as they left, we were able to fill them with people that were in the waiting pool, and so our classes are staying pretty full. Teachers are excited. They're happy to be back with kids on campus. I think we're getting in a routine now. We had a couple of weeks where we had to deal with some COVID issues, some quarantining, but the numbers are dropping. We haven't had cases on campus for a while, and so I think we're starting to really feel the motion of regular school.
Yeah, because didn't we have a couple classrooms shut down even for a little while?
We had to shut one of our 4th grade classrooms down for a week. That was the only full class.
Okay.
And talking to other schools around here, there were some schools that dealt with 8, 9, 10 classrooms being shut down, so God really just protected us. We had students who were quarantined because of exposure. They didn't get sick, but they still had to quarantine. And we did have several students who contracted COVID, but no one was hospitalized. They had very mild cases. And so again, that was one of the prayers we prayed at the beginning of the school year, just kind of put that hedge of protection. And I think God answered that prayer. And we're feeling like we are not taking anything for granted, but that we are on the back end of that wave and moving forward.
All right, that's good. It's really good. I love to hear that they're back in the classroom.
Yes.
We've always believed, even before you got here with Mr. Boyd's leadership, that face-to-face learning is the best learning. So it's really good that we're able to stay in the classroom, and we want to pray that continues. So please pray for that. What are some things, you're new. Kelly, you've been here for a little while, but still there's always new things that are happening in some of the the areas that you're working at. So what's some of the new things that maybe you've brought in, or maybe some of the teachers you've given that permission for teachers to do, that is just blessing some maybe even new positions or whatever it might be? So whoever, or both.
I can jump in.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we've got some classrooms that are trying flexible seating, and some of that was because of COVID delays, back orders. We didn't have all the regular classroom furniture that we would have needed to start the year, and we had some teachers that have studied in their master's program what flexible seating can do, and I've been at schools that use it. So we have a kindergarten classroom and a 5th grade classroom and a 6th grade classroom. First grade classroom, and even one of our math classrooms that have a bit more flexibility in their seating, so students choose their just right spot. They can move around depending on what they need to do. So really trying to help students learn who they are as learners. And sometimes I need to be sitting at a desk, but if I'm doing something else, maybe it's better if I'm in a beanbag chair, because I can concentrate there if I'm reading. So just helping them be aware that their personality and learning style may be fluid, and giving them permission to find that best spot when they need it. So teachers have embraced that. We've got some new literacy initiatives that we are working on, where we're helping students find just right reading levels, and then supplying classroom libraries where they can read a book that's at their level. Kind of the traditional way of teaching reading, everybody reads what's called a basal reader, just a textbook. But not every 3rd grader, not every 5th grader is on that level. So there are some that are being held back. There are some that are being challenged too much, and we're not hitting everybody. And so as we learn more about reading and literacy, we know that students do better when they're reading at their just right level. And so teachers, again, through their master's programs, have experienced this type of literacy curriculum. And Mrs. Sawyer and I have training from Columbia University in this type of reading as well. So we were just able to give teachers permission to try this year, and we're seeing some good results. We have many students that are reading above grade level in the upper grades, which I would have expected, and we have several 3rd grade students that are below grade level because the pandemic hit when they were in 1st grade.
Oh, yeah.
And so not being in the classroom, not having regular instruction, they're not at that 3rd grade level yet, but this way of being able to help them backfill and read at their grade level is going to help them catch up, and we're anticipating by the end of the year we have some students in 3rd grade that are reading at a 1st grade level, but we can get them to 3rd grade level by the end of the year with what we're doing in the classroom. So
Yeah,
teachers are really seeing some exciting changes.
Yeah, that's fantastic. I mean, when you think about it, I mean, you know, the COVID shutdown, I mean, really, the kids were out for a half a year, and then kind of in and out this whole last year. So they did lose a year and a half with the shutdown. And for adults, we don't think that way because we've kind of topped our learning curve, you know, so to speak. But yeah, that's got to really put some kids a little bit behind. Not everybody does well online learning, and we were in that for a while.
Yeah.
So that sounds like a great blessing. So any other things new that are coming along, or that you're doing or putting into practice?
So in our preschool, you know, Mrs. Boyd retired, and we were able to bring on a new teacher, Mrs. Miles. And it's just always fun to have new people come in who come with new ideas, you know, and who are able to kind of just bless the families and the students in that way. As well, something that I'm very excited about, Mr. and Mrs. Boyd worked on a sensory board for our preschool playground, which is just something super fun. You know, I mean, it's just, we have a lot of kids who, especially at this age, they just like to touch and do, and it incorporates all of their senses. So that's just, it's a fun thing.
That 5 sense learning, really important. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's really good. So is that able to be seen by people from the, you know, just walking by in the fence area?
Probably not. It's on the fence area by the car line facing the students.
Okay.
So it kind of has some protection from the overhang, you know, from the weather element type things, but it's in a central location where the kids can utilize it. Mr. Boyd is also currently working on a musical one, so we'll be hearing pots and pans and wind chimes and
So Mr. Boyd, the principal, is now Mr. Boyd, the handyman.
The handyman. So what's funny is that when I first became the preschool or the ECEC director, I've had this like this vision of these sensory boards and the sensory type playground for a long time, and it's just something I haven't been able to implement. And then I was sitting around and I saw it on my computer because that's where it's been held, and I was like, I have the perfect person who could do this. So reached out and he graciously agreed, and we're being blessed by that. So.
Yeah, that's great. That's really wonderful. Any other new things that are coming out that you can think of? And if not, we'll catch them next quarter,
Yeah.
right? So it'll be about December, so we'll be coming out with another one of these state of the ministry opportunities.
Yeah, our end of quarter comes in just a couple weeks, so we'll have our first term grades by the middle of October. But I think that's kind of what teachers are gearing toward. Get this term finished and keep kids learning moving forward.
Yeah. And I just want to encourage you, if you're a parent or if you're a church person and not, don't have kids directly involved with the school, doors always open. You can come and ask them questions at any time. They're here, yes, for the parents and the teachers and having the opportunity to connect with the students, but you also are important. So if you've got any questions or want to learn more, or a way to volunteer maybe in the school, maybe it's just sitting and listening to kids read or whatever it might be, come on in and talk to them, and it's a wonderful opportunity for you to be involved with the school. Is that it?
That's it.
All right. Take
Thank
care
you.
and God bless.